Hello, everyone, and good evening. I hope you're all doing amazing and that you had a great week. I hope you had a wonderful holiday weekend last week. I'm so excited to be back and to see you all. We come up here live every Thursday and answer your immigration questions, and that is exactly why I'm here today. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. We did receive some questions this week, so I'm excited to share with you some of the questions that we received. And if you have a question, I would love to answer them as well. So feel free to write your question in the comments, and I will get to them as we go. Good morning, everyone. Good evening, depending on where you are. It's evening here, but we do have viewers from all over the world. Just a reminder that the information that I am going to discuss today is considered general information and it's not legal advice. But if you do have questions specifically about your case, then feel free to reach out to us. I am happy to answer any questions you might have personally in a consultation. Our information is kind of scrolling down here right now. We do have team members ready to accept your call. If you call right now, you can book a consultation with us and we can get a personalized consultation for you going. Okay. And if you are new to our channel, then welcome. Thank you for being here. Please follow us, like us, so that you can receive more information about what's going on with immigration and learn more. I see Kobe is here. Oh, don't worry that you missed the program. It's okay. We are recorded, so if you're here, if you missed the live show, you can see the recording of it, and you can even ask questions after. So even if you're not watching this live, you can ask questions. I'll still see them. Once I see them, I promise to answer. Okay. So are you ready for some great immigration questions? Let's see what we have here. I am. I can talk about this stuff nonstop, as my friends and family can tell you. Okay, so let's see. The first question we have for today is, let's see, what are my options if I am on DACA and I'm married to a U.S. citizen? Okay. This is a great question. For those of you guys that don't know, DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, and it is an option for certain individuals that came to the United States as children under the age of 16. And it does provide them with a work permit and with protection from deportation. So if someone here is on DACA, they can work here, they get a social security number, they can stay in this country without fear of being deported. Now, what happens if someone on DACA marries a U.S. citizen? So you might know that if you're married to a U.S. citizen, your U.S. citizen spouse can petition you. This is true for everyone, not even if you're not on DACA. However, if you are on DACA, you might have a benefit that is available to you that's not available to everyone. Many people that are on DACA because they have overstay and they generally entered the United States many times without inspection. So if you're on DACA, you entered without inspection, so you entered without a visa unlawfully, then generally speaking, you would have to leave the United States for your green card process. However, if you are on DACA, you can request something called advanced parole, which is an option that might be available for you. You are allowed to ask permission to travel outside of the country for a specific need. And if this is approved and you indeed leave the country and come back, then a huge benefit is that you would be able then to proceed with your green card case based on marriage here in the United States. So if you are on DACA and you're married to a U.S. citizen, I definitely recommend considering something called advanced parole because it might help you a lot down the road. It will help you. If you are approved for advanced parole, you leave the country, you come back, it might definitely help you if you do not have that legal entry. Okay, so I hope that question is more clear now. And again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Okay. Let's see. Kobe, I know that you are waiting for that immigrant visa interview date. It's really hard to tell how long it might take. It depends. It can take several months. It can take up to 6 months or more, depending on your country. Okay. So it's very hard to say how long. Okay. This is a question, interesting one. Is there a way to become a US citizen without having to take the test? That's a great question, because you might know that when you want to become, if you're a resident and you want to become a citizen, you want to go through the naturalization process, there is a test involved. And it doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter. No one likes taking a test. I don't like taking a test either. So I completely understand. People don't like it. People are nervous from this test. The good thing is that the test is not that bad. But to this question, is there a way to become a citizen to go through the naturalization without having to take the test? Yes, but in specific situations that generally don't apply to most people. So if you have a medical condition that would cause you to not be able to take the test, or would cause extreme burden or hardship on you to take a test, you can request a medical exemption from the test. Or if you are in a certain age, or you are at a certain age, over 55, and you've been in the United States as a resident for a specific amount of time, usually 20 years, 25 years, then you might be able to get a modified version of the test, but not really an exemption from the test. But like I said, if you are considering taking your applying for naturalization and what's holding you back is the test, I want to encourage you to do it, because the good thing about this test is that there's no surprises. It's completely doable. You know in advance what the questions are. So that's the best test that you can take, right? So you know what you're going to be asked, and the whole idea is just to memorize those questions. There's 100 questions that you might be asked, and out of those 100 questions, the officer is going to ask you 10, and you need to get only 6 correct. So if you're worried about it, don't be worried. And if you want to talk about it more, we actually offer a free naturalization screening. It's a free call with us. If you are considering applying for naturalization, then definitely reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. Okay. And I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm getting a note that my Wi-Fi is unstable. So if you are here, if you want to comment, if you can hear me okay, that'd be great. I hope you do. Okay. Let me jump on to another question. Okay. Can I petition my father-in-law for a green card? I am currently petitioning my wife. Great. Wonderful. So family-based immigration is great. You, as a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, you can petition for a family member. If you're a U.S. citizen or a resident, you can petition for your wife. However, a father-in-law is not considered one of the categories that you can petition for. So in this case, you would first have to petition your spouse, your wife, and then your wife would be able, when she becomes actually a citizen, she would be able to petition for her father. Okay, so your father-in-law will be able to become a resident, but not that quick, unfortunately. Okay, a citizen can petition for their parent, but not their parent-in-law. Okay, next question. I hope everyone can hear me okay. My dad was deported. However, he has been in Mexico for 15 years now. Can I petition him? Okay. If you are over 21 and you are a U.S. citizen, you can definitely petition for your father. However, the question if someone can come back after being deported is something that definitely I recommend that you would consult specifically with an immigration attorney because it depends. It's true that if he was only deported one time, most likely he would be able to come back through a petition after 10 years of being outside of the US. But there are other factors that need to be considered. For example, was he only deported one time? Also, are there any other reasons that would make him inadmissible or ineligible even though it's been 15 years? So we would need to see, why was he deported? What was the reason? Was it a criminal matter that can still affect his ability to return or not? So definitely anytime someone was deported before, my advice is to have a thorough review by an immigration attorney. Okay. Okay, guys, I hope everyone can hear us okay. I do see here that the internet is not that stable. If you have any questions and you want to ask them, please put them in the comments, drop them for me. If you're watching the replay of this, it's also fine to write your questions there. Okay. Jumping on to the next question. Can I remove the conditions on my green card if I am separated from my husband? Okay, so removal of conditions on the green card. This is a process that is relevant for people that received a 2-year green card. So when they got their green card, they received a 2-year green card. And the reason someone would receive a 2-year green card is because they, at the time when they received their green card, they were married for less than 2 years. Okay? Anyone that's applying based on marriage and is married less than 2 years, if you apply for your green card, once you get it, if you are married less than 2 years of the day that you get your green card, you will receive a conditional green card valid only for 2 years. The general process is that just before the 2 years, just before the expiration, you have to apply to remove the conditions and get your permanent green card, the 10-year green card. Usually this needs to be together with your spouse, a joint petition. But what do you do if you're separated from your husband? If you're separated from your husband, you can file a waiver of the joint filing. Okay, so generally you need to file together, but if you are separated, you can file a waiver of this joint filing. Okay, there has to be a reason, a basis for this request. So it could either be based on divorce, so you're separated, you're going to divorce, based on cruelty or abuse by your spouse, or based on hardship to you. Okay, so there are different reasons why you can get this waiver of the joint filing, but the good news is that it's not the end. It's not the end of the road. Immigration is not going to force anyone to be together in any kind of relationship if it's not working out, and there is a route to go and just file yourself. Okay, definitely reach out to an attorney to get help with that. Okay. Okay, this is a fun question. Let me see. What do you recommend wearing to my citizenship interview? I love it. I always talk about what to wear. Every time we prepare a client for their interview, I always talk about clothes because it's on people's mind. And sometimes people are not, they don't feel comfortable to ask. I don't know why. My tip for what to wear is to wear business casual. So you don't need to wear a suit and a tie and be like an official dress. You can wear what you would wear to work if you work in an office, or what you would wear if you're going to an interview here in the US. Just a little bit more than just regular day-to-day clothes. So I wouldn't wear things like jeans or flip-flops or tank tops. Also, I wouldn't have a hat or, glasses on your, like sunglasses and things like that. So treat it with respect that it deserves. This is an important day, and the more you treat it with respect, the officer will respect you back. Okay. Perfect. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take a couple more questions for today. Okay, can my wife petition me if I have a pending asylum case? This is a question that happens very frequently and that comes up very frequently. And the reason is that asylum cases are taking a very long time for some people. So during this time, it could take 5, 6, 7 years. People meet significant others and decide to get married. And if your partner is a US citizen, then you might consider the marriage route. So the answer is that yes, you can pursue a marriage-based green card if you have an asylum case. But again, it really depends on what stage your asylum case is at, and if you're in with USCIS or you are at the courts. It might be a little bit different. So the answer is generally speaking, yes, but consult with an attorney for your specific situation. Okay. Awesome. Adam is asking, what options do I have for a green card if I enter with an E2, if any? Awesome. So an E2 is an investor visa. It's a non-immigrant visa. It's not a green card, so it's a temporary visa. The good thing about it is that you can keep renewing it indefinitely, so there's no limitation um, on how many times you can or how you can ask for the E2 visa and how long you can be here on an E2. Saying that, it is not a green card, and a lot of people want to have that permanent residency option. So if you're on an E2, you would have to have either someone petition you, or, for example, an employer or a qualifying family member if you have one here, or it could be through a self-petition. So self-petitions for green cards are limited, but there are a few options. So for example, there is the option of an EB2 national interest waiver. So if the line of work that you're doing is of high importance to the nation, then you can perhaps self-apply on that basis. If you are increasing your investment and you get to an investment of $1 million, you can consider the EB5 investor green card. If you have 10 full-time employees, you can, we call it, upgrade it to the investor green card route. And like I said, there's always the opportunity for an employer to hire you. Even if you're here on an E2, in parallel, a potential employer that would like you to come on board can initiate the green card process for you. Okay, so there are a few options with that. Okay, I hope that helped. Okay. How long does it take to get a green card after the fiance visa? This is also a question we received earlier this week. Very common question. So the whole purpose of the fiance visa, right, is for the fiance to come to the United States and for the purpose of getting married to their US citizen petitioner and then applying for their green card. So a lot of people do not realize that after they come to the United States on their visa, that there's a whole process that they need to do. They need to apply for their green card through something called adjustment of status. So when you enter the US on your fiance visa, you only have 90 days. That's the term of your visa. Then you need to apply for the green card. And that is taking about 12 months on average right now, depending on where you're at. But the good thing about it is while your adjustment of status or green card application is pending, you are allowed to stay here in the United States. So you are in a lawful period of stay. And in fact, the government will even give you a work permit, social security number, travel document as interim benefits while you're waiting for your case. Okay, so about 12 months. Okay, guys. If you are just joining and you have a question about immigration, please write it here in the comments. I'm happy to answer. And if you're watching the replay of this, it's also fine. You can still write your question and I'll get to it as I see it. I'm gonna take another question. Let's do one more. And I actually see a question here that we received this week about the E2, so maybe we can do another one about the E2. So how much do I need to invest for the E2 investor visa? So for those of you that don't know what is this visa, the E2 investor visa is available for people from certain countries. So it's not available for everyone, unfortunately. It's only available for treaty countries. So countries that have a treaty or an agreement with the United States. And if you are from one of those treaty countries and you have funds and you want to invest those funds in a US business, then you can do that. And you can get a visa that will allow you to come work in the US business that you have invested in. So it's an exciting visa. It's an entrepreneur visa for people that want to start businesses here. And one of my favorite things about it is it really is very generous and wide with the kind of businesses that you can start here. Literally almost anything can be done under the E2. Almost, some things not really, but almost anything can do, from yoga studios to pet groomers to technology companies, startups, to factories, to retail, it's like endless. But to the question, how much do you need to invest? There's no specific amount that the law requires. There's no minimum amount. However, the law does require to invest a substantial amount. What is substantial amount? It depends on the business. So if you are investing in a factory and you need a warehouse and you need equipment and you need a lot of workers to work in your company, then your investment is going to be higher. But if you're just doing a consulting company or some kind of service-based company where you only need a computer and a phone to start, then the investment amount will be lower. Generally, we like to have our clients have at least 100K to invest, but definitely we've done lower than that. Okay. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, hello for everyone that's joining. Thank you so much. Let's see. Adam, if you come on ESTA, the only green card thing that there's no option to file to a change of status or adjustment of status. The only thing is if a marriage to U.S. citizen or asylum, I believe it are the only options. Okay. But definitely feel free to reach out to us for a consultation. During a consultation, we do talk to you. I would be talking to you one-on-one and reviewing your situation and giving you personalized advice. So our number is here on the screen. It's 714-794-9366. Or you can DM us and we'll get back to you. Okay, folks, I am going to wrap up for tonight. Thank you for everyone that jumped in and commented. Again, if you're new here, please follow us, subscribe to our channel so that you can get more of immigration content and just get notifications of events like this. And if you're watching this on the replay, feel free to shoot us a question. And until next week, everyone have a wonderful weekend and week, and stay safe and healthy.